to begin.
Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. What's up? I hope everybody's been doing great. It feels like, we're all in whatever's going on right now, right? But it also feels like the last couple of weeks have been more overwhelming. They've been getting a little bit more outrageous in terms of the reality of our situation here in America. But give or take, we're still here. That's the good thing. But there's definitely one thing that I wanted to bring up and kind of touch base on. Like, if any of you are feeling overworked, overwhelmed, or just kind of like you have that feeling where you're kind of just over whatever it is you're over, it's not a bad idea to take a break. Just to kind of step back and kind of, chew things over and kind of let your mind dwell on it, get over it, so on and so forth. Because it's well needed, and that's how I felt over the last couple of weeks. I definitely had my attention more focused on other things going on because honestly, I was going through some car problems. I know if you want to put it in scale, it means nothing, but look, we take driving for granted so much. So if you're having problems, if that check engine light turned on, go check it out. Jump on YouTube, figure out how to fix it, how to tell these codes. Honestly, I'm a fucking moron for these type of car stuff. So I'm telling you firsthand, take care of your car. Don't take it for granted, because definitely not having it. I have it back now, but it was definitely a hard couple of weeks. And thus, it kind of affected the podcast because I didn't have a way to fully travel where I wanted to, when I wanted to. But don't take your car for granted. And Jesus Christ, go check out your fucking check engine light if it's on, or whatever it is. I learned my lesson. Today, my guest is Terrence and Phil. They are the host of the Fresh to Death podcast. I'm sure you heard of them before. I had them here on the show maybe a few months ago. I think early last year or so. Late last year. But yeah, overall, great guys. I hope you guys enjoy the conversation. I don't want to give too much away, but as usual, at least for this episode, if you're easily triggered, if you feel like you get easily offended, I suggest not to tune in. But if you want to hear something down to earth, something true, something real, stick around, and I'm sure you're going to walk out of this conversation with little golden nuggets. So I hope you guys enjoy. Today's music is brought to you by Soul Providers with their song Cheers. And I can't tell you how much I recommend you to check this song out. With what we've been going through this last couple of months, you deserve to hear something cheery, something uplifting, something that's going to make you feel good about the way things are, or at least appreciating those moments that you have now. This is that song. So check it out. Find it on YouTube. Find it on Spotify. Find it on anywhere where you find dope ass music. So stick around at the end of the episode for the full song. I hope you guys enjoy.
This is a cheers for those who ain't hearing. Everybody in the house, go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just seeking the vibe, cause it could all end at the blink of an eye. This is a cheers to those who ain't hearing. Everybody in the house, go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just seeking the vibe, cause it could all end with the blink. I'm with my peoples, I haven't seen them lately. I've been preoccupied adjusting to the changes. I wouldn't trade places with no one. These are the cards I was dealt, I'ma hold them, never fold them. Although I might take a hit or two, refuse to be a prisoner of what they did to you. I don't hold grudges, I'd rather hold a cold one buzzing. Real ones come a dime a dozen, never change up, chase love, your chain tucked. Sad to say I've traded words with traitors. The backstabbing only sharpens on my shoulder blades. So amazed, soaking up the solar rays. My soul is raised to a high level. Each day is a days, and most nights are rebels. May hope fight the devil and win too. In the face of hatred, we show appreciation, cause this is a cheers to those who ain't hearing. Everybody in the house, go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe, cause it could all end at the blink of an eye. This is a cheers to those who ain't hearing. Everybody in the house, go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe, cause it could all end with the blink.
Yeah, in the midst of madness, there's always something to be thankful for. So raise your glass.
Not at all.
Gotta get it go right here. This is Eddie's episode. We just giving him the five.
Hey, just give them five.
So we gotta give him.
I
go.
appreciate you. Yeah, I'm telling them I can hear the conversation that we had on the last one.
Yeah.
But it was just those. It just sounded choppy after I tried to, I guess, save the.
You try to save
I tried to save it, and at the end it felt just like there was no seconds in between us talking, and it kind of felt like we were just kind of like.
It was delayed and all of that.
Yeah.
Like,
so
yeah,
I was like, you know
not
what?
a
I'd
good
rather,
song.
let's just do it again. And so thank you guys for taking the time again.
Oh man, not a problem. It's family right here. We good. Make this shit right.
Well, I guess we can, whatever. We've been recording. So.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, now that you're here, Phil, I mean, I kind of want to get your point of view on all this.
Okay, what's up? Fill me in.
So, I mean, do you mind, Terrence, kind of giving like a recap?
Yeah, I definitely need a recap.
Yeah, because Terrence brought it up, and they started getting me thinking like.
I forgot what I said.
Well, it was in relation to like
Terrence, you got to be on the mic, brother.
You know how I get, man. I'm just making sure.
Just making sure everything's good.
You can't talk off the mic, brother. I remember one of the first shows me and Twag did. Uh-huh. Oh, we were so hyped, man. We hit the stage. This is at the Roxy, bro. We at the Roxy. And we just getting ready to tear it down in our little young 15-year-old hearts. So I got the mic up. We rapping, whoop. And I look to my left. I look at Twag, and he's spitting his verse. And then he just gets hyped at the end of his verse, and he just puts the microphone down, and he's like screaming his verse out to the crowd. I'm like, they can't hear you.
They can't hear
you. You have to. You can't take the mic away from your mouth, man.
But he just feeling the vibe.
He was feeling it. He was going in. I know it was sounding good. It would have been good if he had the mic to his mouth.
So what was I saying?
I mean, we were basically just kind of going down the rabbit hole of, like, me example being Hispanic or Mexican American, if you categorize in that sense, was like if you see somebody like outside of that and you see somebody that can look Hispanic, Mexican, for you to kind of just go up and be like, hey, that guy is Mexican.
Oh,
in a sense, depends, I guess, who you're talking to about it.
I guess if you seen a group of, I'm fucked up right now. I like, what do I say? As even trying to create a scenario, what do I say? Hispanic or Mexican?
Yeah. Well, are you? Yeah, like, I guess at that point, if you're trying to include everybody, I would say the Hispanic.
Probably Hispanic. But what about Latinos?
Yeah.
What would you say there?
Hispanic / Latinos. That would be the.
So what is it?
I don't know that.
What is a Latino?
Well, Latino will be anybody who comes from like Latin speaking, or I guess roots, or culture. But I guess that's kind of hard to pinpoint as well, because Latin goes way back. It's like if you say Spanish or like Hispanic, that's still Spaniard times.
Isn't that specific to a region? If you say Spanish,
yeah. If you say Spanish, it's mostly like Mexico. I would definitely say like. Even Cuba, what is it? Brazil, like a little bit of South America too. Because once you go a little further, then that's all considered Latino. But
okay,
that's where it gets all weird. It gets murky. So a lot of people, honestly, care. Like I was saying, I'm like they're all like Latin X. They put the whole X to be inclusive of everybody. And like if you call a specific group of people Hispanic and not Latino, or Latino and Hispanic, like you're gonna get shit for it. And
okay,
so that's why it's kind of hard to do. You want to
so in a sense that Latin X is like Malcolm X, right? Is the X unknown? Is that what I'm kind of getting?
Well, the X is supposed. So in Spanish, the O is masculine and the A is feminine. So like words can be both feminine and masculine depending on who you're. If I'm referring to a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
So because Latino, when you say Latino, it only basically summarizes just
the men.
If you say Latina, it's just the women. So by saying Latin X,
then it's all inclusive.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what that means. A lot of people are like,
I learned something new, because I would have thought X was just like, okay, you don't know the group, you don't know who you generalizing or talking to, so they're Latin, so this can be a blanket or like cover all your bases.
Yeah.
But still, does that cover everybody? Like Mexicans from Mexico? El Salvadorians.
It seems like that movement does. It feels like that movement does. Like it's supposed to include all of them, because I haven't seen the word used like Hispanic X. Like I haven't seen that. Maybe I just haven't looked it up, but I don't see that term being coined. So it feels like Latin X kind of categorizes people that are, I was telling them, like Spanish speaking in those movements.
Okay.
Do you agree with that term?
Latinx?
Yes.
Not necessarily. And I know people will immediately think like oh, I'm about the patriarchy or something. But to me, it I don't know. To me, it really doesn't feel like it's something that's necessary for me to justify the movement of these people, that I have to say. So to me, it means nothing. Like the legit means nothing to me. And I don't care what people say. I'm sorry, but because maybe I'm not educated in it. But me being Hispanic, being from Mexican parents, I feel like I have a pretty good, valid reason to just say that I don't care.
Yeah.
If I was some other culture and I said I don't care, then yeah, I'll get heat for it. But even if I get heat for it now, like, hey, I know the culture, I know everything, right. I'm part of it. So it's not a big deal to me, because at the same time, I'm trying to learn from other people, and if I go ahead and just start talking shit, it's not gonna make me any better. But.
So you feel, what do you prefer, African American or black?
To keep it professional, I would say African American, but you already know about that whole American thing with me. Like, if you American, you just American. You don't have to put the African or Hispanic or anything in front of it. Mexican American. If you American, you American. But I get it. The African parties will say he's originated from Africa.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? But
whatever.
I'll take African American over a color. You know what I'm saying? The color is just black. He's black. I don't identify with that.
You don't like the black one, huh?
For one, my hair's black.
Yeah.
But,
your skin color now.
I'd rather you say the chocolate dude over there. Like
the chocolate dude.
I don't know. I don't really have a preference, but if I had to choose one, I definitely call myself black more than anything else. I never call myself an African American.
Mm-hmm. Fancy question. South Africans, Caucasians, if they come to the United States,
they're African Americans. Absolutely.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah, that's.
This ain't some shit you could just pick up and put down. You're not African American. I don't give a fuck if you are from Africa and you come over to America and get your citizenship, but you're still not African American. Your ass white.
Documented, they're African American.
Documented on the census sheet. That's where they're gonna select.
So, what a crazy loophole! Because no, I feel what you're saying, but technically, legally, they are African American. So when they choose shit like the census, they are white, Caucasian.
I bet you they check the white box.
But no.
I bet you.
Look how much shit that they can get away with fucking up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like fucking up shit how? Like, what do you mean? Go further.
I don't know, like the census shit, or like something like a voting shit.
The numbers. They can skew numbers.
Like
they can skew
numbers. Yeah, I mean, just
or play a card.
Something a nefarious person could think of an evil and a sinister way to
teeter something
to use that. Them being white, but them being able to truly mark that they're African American.
And then try to apply to colleges and stuff like that, and maybe slide in on some grants
That's
they may
wild.
have not
it's happened.
been eligible
That's
for.
Wow. Yeah. Yes.
Well, if they want to do that, hopefully they can take whatever else comes with the black card or the African American card. If you want to play that shit.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Like you mentioned, Terrence, that I guess you say African American is the preferred term. I guess in your personal case right now in this conversation, and you, Terrence, said like black is not like a. It's kind of like me saying Mexican or like Hispanic.
I'm kind of using it in a professional sense. If I were at work and somebody said, the African American fellow, the one that sits over by, I wouldn't feel any type of way. Okay, they're just referring to me.
Me neither.
But if they said, "Oh, the black fellow that sits over," man, meet me in the parking lot.
Okay.
Now, Eddie, that's very similar to the Mexican and Hispanic thing. Very similar.
If somebody came up to me and straight up told me,
you're Mexican, you might take offense. So it's safer to say that Hispanic gentleman over there.
Right. And to make it clear, it's not because I find it like, I mean, I don't know, maybe not racially offensive, but it's just like, to me, it feels like an ignorant statement just to kind of like,
It's very ignorant.
And it's
Just
like
to say that Mexican over there.
it's like, come on, man, like.
Oh, look at that black over there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I think before you showed up, I was referring to like.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, just like Mexican culture. From what I know, some of the people there, at least like my parents or like their parents, so on and so forth, a lot of them were unintentionally racist, but at the end of the day, they're still racist in terms of what they would say sometimes. I give them an example where my dad would pretend sometimes to say like Chinese words or something, and just kind of walk around and stretch his eyes out. And me as a 5-year-old, I was cracking up, not knowing any better, right? But you grow up and you're like, oh damn, like
that was hella racist.
That was hella racist. And there was other little moments that sometimes you hear them say something and then you're like, nah, you gotta
tone that down.
Yeah, like hey, like calm down, like that's not correct them,
Yeah.
But it was it's weird because it happens a lot in those cultures for the most part, especially for the adults, not so much like the youth now. But the adults are very.
I wonder why they do that.
I don't know, man.
What time? I mean, in PC culture, we all tend to be more conscious of what we say and how we say it and what groups we don't want to offend. Because just like Eddie says, like, our parents were a lot looser with the lips and they would just say crazy shit that would be unacceptable to my generation. And now I find myself saying stuff that I grew up regularly throwing around loosely that my children would be like, yo, Pops, you would be hung for this shit that you saying right now.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot go off the rip like that. I'm like, what?
Give me an example.
I don't want to really go into all of that because then it puts me on Front Street and makes me look crazy. But just for generally speaking purposes, growing up as little kids, we would be like, fuck you, faggot. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We really didn't mean any offense to any gay people or anything
Not
like that.
all.
Yeah,
Not
right.
at all.
Say that shit right now, though.
Oh yeah, meet me outside.
But see, I wouldn't dare say that now because I understand how that could be offensive.
Yeah.
And even as a child, even though we didn't know and we didn't mean it that way.
Right.
But even though we didn't know, it was still offensive.
Hell of offensive, right. But
Because I mean, think of how wrong that word is.
Yeah.
Just think of that.
yeah. See, that's why I didn't want to say it. But
no,
you
I
made
mean,
me do it.
Yeah, no,
You made me do it. SP, you just made me do it.
No, but I mean, like, it's like you're speaking from like, like past experiences, things that
I would never use that word.
Yeah, because you know better now.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think anybody should be held accountable at all for things that happened in the past before. So as long as you've grew out of it,
Yeah, definitely. But
As long
I
as
grew
you
up
grew.
I grew up to Too Short. I grew up to Ice Cube, NWA. My vocabulary, man, was terrible as a kid.
Yeah, man. A lot of the shit that we love, it wasn't good. I mean, it was great music. I still love it, but
Yeah.
a lot of it wasn't
But
positive.
it's very offensive.
But a
to
lot of it
everyone.
was, though. I mean, had a little bit of everything, but a lot of it wasn't.
Tyshawn with bitch? You say bitch now?
Bitches ain't shit.
Bitch? Oh my
Everything.
goodness. They coming for you.
Hey, I mean,
Women's right. We got women's movement. My daughter was man. Don't be calling me nah, we're not talking about you at all. It's just a general term. Like,
Yeah.
relax.
I hope that one day in the future, very near future, there's like this conscious shift in where people are just like, okay, you could be a fucking man, you can be a woman, you can be in between, and we're all vibing.
Exactly.
Instead of like, oh, we have to focus this shift on this.
I wonder why can't that be? What's bothering people so much about people just having different lifestyles? You think
Somebody wants to feel like they're better than somebody else at all times.
Damn, you think
That's
that?
all that is. That's all it is.
But I can feel like I'm better than you without trying to suppress your lifestyle. My feeling, that's just how I feel. That's my thoughts.
Right.
But how come it bothers some people that
Everybody not as strong as you on that one. You know what I mean? They'll be like, I'm supposed to be, or I'm better because I was told that. But then they can see, your true gifts. and let me come up with a way to kind of stay on top. You know what I mean? Like underhandedly stay on top. If I take this, and this away, then I can prove myself to be superior and try to make you inferior.
So like it's power, right?
Yeah, it's just the power. It's a power thing. But
Is it that simple? Just power?
I don't know.
I would say that's the driving force, man. Why else would you put somebody else down? You wouldn't care.
But I mean, like I get what Terrence is saying in terms of like, how does somebody lifestyle? What it doesn't affect you know, like whatever somebody's doing outside of this room right now doesn't affect me at all. You know, I mean, at least obviously if it's close to me. But
I think you guys are talking about the broader scope. I'm talking about just
you personally.
Not even me personally, but I guess just more on an individual level. You know, like how come it bothers that person that this other person is gay or shit like that? But I guess, you know, from your point of view, yes, I guess it is control and power.
Yeah. Because it doesn't bother that person, but it does bother their, you know, their thought or what they think or what they go against. And then also, a lot of people bring religion into it, and they say, well, what does God say? What does the Bible say? What does the Quran say? What do they do over here? You know, what does Confucius say? You know what
Confucius, yeah.
Are you religious?
No, I'm not. I like to think that I believe in like spirit, like in the soul. So I think in the sense I'd be more spiritual, but definitely not religious. Yeah, my parents were like pretty Catholic for a good while, and they'll push it, and at some point I was like, nah, I don't want to go. And my mom was so sad. She was crying like, how dare you not want to go? I'm like, Mom, I just don't want to go.
So it kind of drove your own way, huh?
Yeah.
Now, why do you think your parents are so religious?
I think it's just
Their
like their fear. Yeah, I mean, my mom lost her grandma like, a couple of maybe 20 years ago at this point, and it obviously hit her really hard. So, you know, I think that was just her outlet to kind of embrace the after, you know, and I don't know. I guess she found some peace in it for a while until, you know, I guess she kind of just fell apart from it, and I mean distance herself from it, and that was that. She still carries like certain little symbols or little cross or something, you know, but
yeah,
you know that story, you can apply that story to every religion that ever existed.
Yeah,
someone, you know, going through some kind of traumatic situation, they need something to turn to, something to make them feel better, something to believe in.
Yeah,
something to guide them through.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's easy to, once you set your mind to it, to think of something higher than yourself.
Yeah.
You're like putting, you know, it's like relieving all this weight off of you and putting it into place something that, even if you can't see it, you feel like.
I wonder what's so hard about true believers even thinking about, what if there just wasn't a God?
Yeah.
What if this wasn't nothing? You ever think about that, though, sometime?
Yeah, it's
you
kind of
give it honest thought, though.
Yeah, I try to. I get a little sad about it when you're like, "Oh, fuck, there really isn't." You know, you think about it too long, but after a while, you kind of you kind of accept it. You're like, "All right, well, I mean, those are the cards you're dealt with. It's just the reality of things."
But then again, you know, when it comes to religion, a lot of times, a lot of it actually kind of is proven. Like in these days and times, like it'd be written in a Bible under certain verses, something that's very descriptive. And then you actually see it lay out in front of you.
You come to fruition.
And in 2020, like Book of Revelations and all of that stuff. Like,
I can never be an atheist. You know, I'm not a crazy religious person, but I don't think I can ever be an atheist.
In terms of believing that there's no God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have seriously not thought about being one, but just thought about what if it was nothing? Because I don't remember what anything was like before I got here.
Right.
So what makes me think I'm going to remember after I'm gone?
After I'm gone, like,
you know? And I'm like, well, how do I feel about that? And I gave it like thought, like, how do I feel about that?
Would you feel like all of this was for nothing?
Actually, no, because even No, I wouldn't feel like that. No,
Okay.
I would still feel like I don't know. You know,
You don't remember it, so it
I
wouldn't
mean,
even
you don't
matter.
remember it, but while you were here, if you made shit better for people, you know, you made good friends, inspired somebody.
Yeah, then you feel good while you're here.
And then while you're here,
You should.
So,
yeah.
yeah, and that makes this a better place. Why this is here.
Right. And then
You know?
maybe when it's time to move on to the next, whatever that may be,
Yeah,
then you start all over again
Yeah.
and make that better.
yeah.
You know, when you come back as a caterpillar,
Are you religious, Phil? I don't know if that's too personal.
yeah,
Ask them anything.
Ask him anything.
yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's I believe in God.
Yeah.
Hands down. Do I know what God is? I have no clue,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no desire to really try to wreck my brain and try to figure out exactly what, who, how, you know, God is. God is the creator of all, of everything. Does God appear in the flesh of man? Probably not. Is God just, you know, an overall spirit around the planet? Could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't know. Is God a bad woman? Could be. We all came from something. What
Yeah.
came first, the chicken or the egg? So, yeah, when it comes to religion, I believe there's something greater than us. But, you know, defining exactly what that is,
Yeah.
whether that be, you know, Jesus Christ or Allah or, you know, Buddha, I mean, to each his own. That's everybody's personal thing.
So can I safely say that both of you guys at least agree with you leave a certain percentage to say you don't know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that I don't know. And
So
that, I'm
even
cool
while
with that.
believing, you also leave a little percentage to say, but I don't know.
What do you mean, but I don't know? But I
Like
don't.
I don't like. It could be nothing. Like I believe. I'm believing. I really believe. I pray and everything. I read the Bible, but also
I don't believe it can be nothing. I believe
don't
it's
know.
absolutely
okay.
something. I do
Yeah.
believe it's absolutely something.
Something.
I just don't know what that is.
You just don't
And
know what
when
it is.
When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it. Right now, too big for me to try to comprehend.
Yeah.
I don't give a. I don't care.
Yeah, like my personal opinion on like the whole Bible stuff. Like, I don't mean to offend anybody, obviously, but like to me, you know, it's a book that was written by humans. You know, somebody sat down, somebody wrote it, somebody more than likely drafted what they were gonna do, wrote it down.
But they got the word from God, though.
Right. But so now, like, that's the part that to me feels like I can very questionable in terms of.
Are you saying how come they got the word from God, but we can't get that word in 2020?
Right. It's
I
like,
want one word. Can I just get one word?
But you see, and then it just makes that one person responsible, or the person who feels like, again, it becomes a power after a while. Like, oh, I am the vessel in which God speaks through.
Does religion control people?
It definitely does. It
Absolutely.
has done for centuries.
Absolutely. Well, don't do
Could
that.
it have been created to control people?
Of course. Why do we have so many different books and so many different beliefs and faiths? Obviously, somebody did something to control somebody. You know, all gods are not going to show up at once and then have a WWE wrestling match. You know what I
Which
mean?
will be pretty cool, though. I have a question for you guys. Like,
Yeah.
there's this whole thing. I think it's still kind of happening right now, but like, there's this apparent air quotes race war, right? That's going on between, you know,
Yeah.
African Americans, that Latinx groups, and you know, browns and blacks, right? And it's very like kind of fucked up to see, at least in like when I follow Instagram pages. Obviously, there's like some Hispanic memes there where you follow them.
Sorry, that's me, y'all.
It's cool. It's cool.
No,
And-
no. I'm fucking up the audio. I don't care
Oh,
nothing about
man.
this. I'm just trying- but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. I was referring to like there's meme pages, right? Like Latino meme pages where you go and obviously you see memes that are somewhat relatable to your whatever brown experience that you have. And then you start seeing videos that they post of like, you know, people who the fruit stands getting jumped and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that shit. Yeah.
And you see the comments and you start seeing like, oh, like,
It's so hateful.
it's fucking
It gets
hateful, man.
dude.
And they're really pitying themselves again just because of I mean, sure, they're isolated incidents. It look from what it looks like,
right?
But they're still pitying the whole thing. Like,
but see,
we got to stand up after.
I understand that hatred, though. I mean, I wish they would think more, but of course, you see something like that, some black kids beating up on.
You know what?
Yo.
I mean, but it goes on both sides with everybody, and it's just a way of the world. So as an individual, when you see these types of things, you got to be more in control of your own personal emotions, not to react and do something to egg somebody else on. A lot of people are immature. A lot of people will never grow up. There's old fools. So when you see on social media platforms, you know, this kind of violence that happens, and then you got a comment section, that's just some, you know, it's some bad, you know, terrible people sitting at home that don't even have a social life, that's just like, oh yeah, this is my opportunity to create, you know, havoc throughout the neighborhoods. So green light on every black person, babies included.
Babies, yeah.
And they sitting there in their living room, they never left their fucking house. They don't do anything. But they're, you know, influencing these other people's minds and messing it up on the streets. Now, granted, shit shouldn't be happening. People shouldn't be jacking the fruit man. You know, and people shouldn't just be jumping out on any little black kid thinking he a Crip or a Blood, and he just trying to walk home from school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to do better and just, you know, be people and respect each other. I done been to some cold ass Hispanic parties, had some fun. I done been to many quinceañeras. I done been treated like family and ate all this bomb ass food. Who gets invited to the tacos? The asada? I did. Plenty of fucking days.
I told you, I said that's how we grew up. It was black and Mexican, so.
Right. So all of this bullshit, you know, shot callers, and we putting the green light and put that shit gotta stop.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, there's just been a few incidents where I've heard like people are like, oh, they're just more pro Latino, and like, you know, they're like anti-black, and it's like, dude, like, you know, when you start calling it out, it makes sense to kind of feel that way, you know, like. And
just because you're pro Latino doesn't mean you have to be anti-black.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with being,
and that's what they're trying to push. Like, you know, it's us against them.
It's not.
We have to stand together, but we're still against this specific group. It's like, no,
why? Right.
Yeah. No, man.
Yeah, I could be pro-black all day, and I don't really care what any other group does. But I know that we've been, you know, put down for so long. We've been suppressed for so long that we need to kind of help each other out and build ourselves up. And we don't know our way sometimes. Like, we can't stand to help each other. I don't know why, but self-hate, crabs in a barrel, bucket, fuck it.
Crabs in a barrel.
That's what it is. Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm always for anybody trying to mend that relationship, because back in the 80s, it was no beef like that. I mean, we had black hoods, SA hoods right next to each other. Nobody messed with nobody.
Yeah.
And now it's just like war on the streets for no reason.
I wonder where did that come from? Had to start from somewhere. Did it come from the prison systems?
I mean, it would make sense because they're just forced to kind of coexist in a way, you know. But I mean, you're basically putting a bunch of like the Hispanic guys. You know, a lot of them are gangsters. You know, there's some hardcore gangsters in there. Like, there was this completely unrelated part. I went to this party once. I was 15 years old, and I got invited to some house party. I showed up. It was all cool and everything. Good music. Everybody was like drinking, hanging out. And at some point, some guy comes out and he pulls out a gun and he's like, "Happy birthdays!" Like, little shorty or little snappy or something. And then, dude, almost all the fucking guys in there, they were like 18, and they start fucking flashing gang signs, and I was like,
oh, you was on 18th Street?
No, I was not on 18th Street. I would just happen to be invited to a party that happened to be 18th Street year later, and I was like, oh.
And you were scared.
Hell yeah.
He wasn't scared before.
I wasn't scared before. I was having
They was just
so much
regular
fun.
People. Right? They was cool. It was regular people.
Regular bald people.
Bald people, exactly.
Oh, that's why everybody has this haircut.
Dude, it was so scary. But, I mean, the reason I say it's a lot of those people, they ended up in jail at one point or another. But, yeah, dude, it was just random. But, yeah, going back to the whole topic, yeah, dude, I really do think that's part of it, you know? But it doesn't also...
It's survival in the pen.
survival, but I think it also there's some political.
Yeah, so that's why I was getting. I'm
with
like,
it.
well, if we think we don't know, so we're just all assuming we don't know shit. If we think it started in a penitentiary system, doesn't that kind of show how this could be all just fabricated? Not really real. It was made for us to feud, for it to spill out in the streets.
Damn good chance of that, because
I mean, if there's such thing as called, the elites of the world.
Right. They're going to win with everybody else being divided, not everybody else coming together.
It's a must.
So we have to create division.
It's a must.
Yeah, of course.
It's a must. It's a must that black people hate white people. It's a must that, the middle class kind of look down on the poor. It's a must that blacks and Latinos fight. It's a must.
Mm-hmm.
It's a must.
Yeah, everybody's
Blinders
looking
on.
around but not up,
But looking up and saying we're all getting fucked and screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The same niggas in the hood is getting fucked and screwed, just like the poor whites somewhere down in Mississippi, the same way. Now, the white person, he's so ignorant. He's looking at us like we the enemy or the Mexicans the enemy.
Right. You poor, broke. You right here.
You're getting
Matter
fucked.
of fact, I live better than you.
Yeah. You're getting fucked just like the people who you're looking down on.
Man, I almost got into a fight with a clown at the Block of Orange, man. Some old fat white dude on some Black Lives shit. He said, there's a reason why Black Lives don't matter, is what the fuck he said.
Damn, for reals?
Yeah, over a
What
fucking parking spot.
dick.
Over a parking spot. So, yeah, you know how people like pull up in a little aisle and then they're sitting there waiting for any car to pull out and they think that spot is theirs, right? Sometimes it's yours, but it doesn't mean that it's your spot. So my wife and I, we driving in, we see a couple walking to their car, so we gonna follow behind the couple and follow them to their spot. And they got in their car and we just waiting. I turn on my blinker, like, okay, we worked for this. We followed them and we waiting for them to pull out. This dude just gets heated, frustrated. So he pulls up closer and he's like, that's my spot. That's my spot. All super entitled and shit. Pretty much he could have had an American bandana on his fucking head. But he was in like a little old ass Honda Civic. He had a German Shepherd in the passenger seat. This is at an outdoor mall. And he walks over to the car and tries to tell them, like, when you pull out, can you pull out that way so I can pull in? Because I was waiting.
Yeah.
And the couple was like, and they were Hispanic, by the way. They didn't give a fuck about his deal or my deal. They was just like, when we leave, we leave. We don't give a fuck what y'all do.
I mean, it is what it is.
Right. So they pulled out in my favor, and then I, went right into the spot. And then that's when he, had this little choice words to give me and all of that. And you fucking da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was just laughing and giving it right back to his ass. I was like, man, sit your fat ass back in your car, you punk motherfucker. What you gonna do? So he went back to his car and he got his little taser. And he's sitting there popping his taser.
Oh my god, this
I'm like,
story
man,
just
I will
keeps going.
fucking knock you out. You ain't that goddamn taser. But then eventually, when he pulled off, and I took video of my car, like, okay, if I come back and this motherfucker scratched up and vandalized, insurance company, y'all got to show everybody that Black Lives Matter and pay for my motherfucking paint.
Damn, some people, man. Some people are just too
I don't
much.
know how I would have reacted in something like that.
I like to think, like, if somebody ever comes to... I've told this to people. I don't know if it's the reality of my actions, but if somebody comes in and says some racist stuff to my face, a lot of the people are just... I know you're not supposed to do it. I know for a fact you're not allowed to physically assault somebody because then obviously you're the one in trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, but I swear to God, I will fucking slap somebody, dude. I'm not even going to punch them. I'm just going to slap them hard.
Now, you can protect yourself, but with the words you say... You could provoke them to actually come over there and act as if they're going to do some physical harm. And then you within your right, to do whatever you need to do to protect yourself.
Open palm,
so
too.
you can run your mouth. And that's what I was... You fat motherfucker, get your punk ass back in your car. I was running my mouth.
And what did he... Was you upset?
Nah, it was funny to me because I've been in this situation so many times.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm always in this situation. Like, white people be like, "Go home, nigger."
Damn.
And I be like, "You go home, nigger." Where would you go? Because you ain't from here. Go home.
Damn.
I don't know.
How old were you guys when you guys first experienced that?
Some form of racism. I think I probably realized it maybe in middle school. About middle school.
Fuck. That's what, like 11,
Well, it was
12?
junior high school for me.
What you realize, what, racism or that you were black and shit was a little different for you?
More so, maybe like both at about the same time. Like, I'm clearly being treated unfair or differently. And I'm being treated differently because I'm not them. They not me.
Damn.
You know, my mom, she always had me in schools across town. I didn't go to the local schools. I didn't go to Star King or Lincoln Elementary or Roosevelt. I didn't go to those schools in the hood. She worked over in Lakewood. And back in the day, Lakewood was really, really Caucasian. I mean, it's still Caucasian now. But, you know, she needed to have me in school close by her job. That way, if something went wrong, it didn't take long to get to me. And also, she can bring me to school on her way to work. So it just, you know, worked out. And when I was young, I ain't see no color, of course, you know. She would drop me off on the corner and say, walk 2 blocks down that street and you'll be at your school. And I'm like in the 3rd grade. You can't do that shit now. That's child endangerment.
Yeah, for sure.
But like one of my little buddies from my class lived on that street. So I would knock on his door so he could walk with me, you know, like the other block and a half down to school. And his family would invite me in and shit. And they'd be like, "You had breakfast yet?" No, I didn't. Sit down at the breakfast table, eat breakfast with them. You know, matter of fact, I didn't even put ketchup on my eggs until eating with this white family. You know what I'm saying? I learned putting ketchup on my eggs from them. So
So was this kid your friend?
This kid was my friend. We were in elementary school.
What was his name?
I couldn't tell you that now, man. This is like third grade.
Wow.
Maybe not even 3rd, maybe 2nd, maybe 1st. But as a kid, you don't see no color. You know what I mean? It's just, oh, that's my homeboy. That's you know, girls are icky. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you look at it. But, you know, as I grew up and got into junior high school, now you got your groups coming together. And I don't know if it's something that you just, you know, do unconsciously. You just start grouping up. You hang with the people that you, I mean, you might still have friends of different nationalities and things like that. But for the most part, you start hanging with the black crowd or the Hispanic crowd or the white crowd. And I just remember getting into a fight in junior high. Well, now I don't even want to share that story because I was all in the wrong.
I just thought about
on the wrong.
It was me. I was all in the wrong.
your story. I just thought about something. Okay, so you said that you discovered that you were different when you were in junior high school.
Maybe a little bit before junior high school, but junior high school was like pretty much, it is what it is. Now you in the real world. It's black, white, Mexican, Asian, and other, and you just got to find your way.
But when you were in elementary school with that white kid,
yeah, before, you know, 3rd grade and under, you know, shit changes at 4th grade and up. When you go to the big kid side,
yeah,
shit starts changing, but still not as drastically. But by the time you're at junior high,
you know what?
Yeah,
you know what just hit me right now from you telling that story?
what's that?
I didn't get around white kids until junior high school.
Damn.
From birth up until I went to Hamilton, I was around nothing but black kids. I never thought about that until right now.
Wow.
Damn. And
That just hit me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me. I was just around Hispanic kids up until college, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, college. Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't until I went to college that I finally started befriending, you know, Asian people or you know, black people or like.
Wow.
I wonder
Indian
how my life
people.
would have been if that would have been my story. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it was weird. You know, you occasionally come across like, oh, hey, you know, say hi to that, you know, this is blank and blank. And you're like, oh, hey, you know, but it's not like you befriend somebody or you start associating with yourself with them and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't until college, man. It was
Hold on.
That's crazy.
I got two shit. Hold on. What did you just say? Both of you guys just triggered something in me. What did you just say? You said, I wish that was...
Oh, what? I wonder.
My experience or Eddie's?
No, I wonder what my own experience would have been if I didn't like meet people until like college. You know what I'm saying? Until like other races until like high school, college. Because I mean, I went to preschool with just a straight up mixed class. Wow. So from the gate, jumping out the gate, like I had to work with other nationalities, how their parents taught them, how they had to react with me, and how I react with others. So, you know.
So how do you think that shaped you? That's some real shit.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm
dealing with it early, right?
Yeah.
You were integrated
early.
Yeah, right.
Early. Like I never known anything but from the gate. And my blackest experience is when I got kicked out of Lakewood and had to go to Jordan, and when I met you. That's my blackest experience.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Damn. And that was what? High school? Is that high school?
High school. That's senior year.
Fuck.
I wanted to go to a black school so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to a black school bad as shit. My mom was like,
You did.
She was like, hell no, you couldn't go until I got kicked out of Lakewood, and then I ended up having to go to Long Beach, Jordan, to the home school. I couldn't go. I went to all the football games. I went to all the basketball games.
So I never knew. So your mother didn't want you to go there to keep you out of shit.
My mama low key like racist. She really hates black people. That makes any sense.
You gotta explain to Eddie. Explain to Eddie what you mean.
No,
do you mean?
I
do you
can
understand
kind
what
of
he
understand because there's certain Hispanics that you can straight tell they're Hispanic, Latinos, and straight up they're like, nope, I'm against complete immigration. Like, go back, and it's like, dude, come on.
And
like,
even then,
you are the experience.
They're saying that even against like their own people.
Exactly, and they're trying to like get white, like in the sense, whitewash themselves. You know,
right?
And it's I don't know. To me,
they want to be better.
Weird.
I understand exactly what you
weird
mean,
as shit.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm like, you don't see the whole. They black out certain things.
So wow. So how did it benefit you? You like a motherfucking case study. You were integrated from day one.
You know what?
And I didn't get around other people, white, black, Asian. I'm sorry. I'm lying. I'm sorry. Let me pull that back.
What'd you forget? What'd you forget?
Back. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm piecing it together. I'm sorry. I went to Clara Barton in the 6th grade. So from birth up into the 6th grade, not junior high, I just spent 1 year there. And then I went to Hamilton. I was around nothing but black kids. So I was in elementary school at Clara Barton around a mixture of kids.
Okay.
Yeah. But even still back then, the population was skewed more black. We had Hispanics and they were white. But by this time, like the late 80s, the white people were moving out and it was becoming just a black and Hispanic neighborhood. Sprinkled whites.
Yeah.
Like we moved to North Long Beach. We moved here in 84, 85. There was still a lot of white families.
I remember that kind of shit.
By 90, it was black and Hispanic.
That's crazy. How fast they moved out.
Speckle, whites
moved out quick.
They still, for the most part, like even now, they're still white, speckle whites.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of Asians moved out too. There used to be
Yeah.
a lot more Asians too in the hood, but I remember a lot of my little Asian homeboys. They started moving to Garden Grove. Like all through Orange County and shit. Certain parts of Orange County.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, everybody's shaking.
So how was that experience coming to college and now I'm seeing with black people, white people, and
I mean,
not
like,
only
for sure,
just Asians, but like Filipinos and Vietnamese and
I mean, because for sure, like I mentioned, I'll interact for like brief encounters, right? And like, oh hey, like at work or something. But to have somebody that I really can bounce experiences off of, it was into college, and it was very weird, especially because, like,
my first experience with anything racial was with some white guy. Like, it was one of my first bosses.
Damn.
And his interview was that he was going to take me to some warehouse where he was going to purchase some stuff. And on the drive over there, he was asking me all these questions. And he told me, like, so, like, how did you avoid staying out of gangs? And I, like, to me, like, I was like, what? But then it got pieced together. And I was like, oh, he's assuming that because I'm Mexican that I would be in a gang, you know? And it's like, oh shit, okay. And like I told him, oh well, you know, my parents raised me to focus on school and stuff. And they're like, he was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Wow.
But I mean, maybe he was asking that of plain ignorance as well. Sometimes, you know, the questions that come off from other people can seem douchey, you know, but maybe they're really just kind of curious and finding out. Like you mentioned, like, how do you say Hispanic or Mexican to somebody? Those are questions that I will, for anybody that's not from my culture, you know, expect to ask, because I don't want to, at the end of the day, say something that's gonna potentially make me look bad in front of you, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, some people just do it out of complete ignorance without being cautious about what words they're using.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, once I went to college, I had the experience to really interact with people, and you know, up until a point, if I'm being like honest, like, you know, all you hear is like, oh, stay away from these neighborhoods because, you know, there's black people, and you're like, oh fuck, and you kind of start getting conditioned to believe that certain people mean certain situations,
Right.
and you know, it's not until you start growing older and you're like, wait a second, like this is not the reality of things, you know, like there's more to what was, you know, predetermined to be what you think reality should be like.
Yeah. So generalizing versus the actual truth. But you know what? It sometimes though it's a little truth in generalizing though. Like
generalizing, yeah. Well,
when you
I
say
mean, that's
overall
probably
collectively,
part of human survival. You know, we have to generalize, prejudge on survival mechanisms.
right? To
you know?
make sure that you stay safe.
threat,
you
you
know?
know?
Yeah. Minimize it.
But if you remove seeing, I guess, the color of it, what are you like determining that on? Like characteristics of that person, or is it like that survival instinct at that point? Where is it? Because I mean, you can say that it's the instinct for surviving, but if we're predisposed to have some sort of racist connotation with that group, then is it really that part, or is it like, oh, this person just really tall and looks fucking strong? It looks like if I get close, he's gonna knock me out and take me to an alley or something.
Just living off fear. You know what I mean?
But where is the point where we draw the line? Because we can't ignore that there is threats out there.
Yeah.
So sometime, yes, you could get attacked by a black guy.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that? How do you judge? How do you make that moral judgment? I guess.
Man,
Because you don't want to judge every black guy you see.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You know, you're trying to reprogram your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
But then, how do you differentiate the threat between the?
You got to go spend time with people, man. You got to come out of that whole shell and all of that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's I know we talked about it on Fresh to Death. You know, with me shooting baskets at work, trying to, you know, break down people's stereotypes. Which, I mean, if you just think about what I just said, like, that's feeding directly into the stereotype. But
You're trying to shoot the stereotype down.
Right, I'm trying to break down the barrier. Like, oh, you know, black people, probably a gangster.
What barrier?
Well, you know, just that whole, you know, racial, you know, prejudice. You know, he must be a gang member. He must do that. He must do that. Man, I'm in the same.
To the white folks that
I'm in the
good.
same fucking office as you. Matter of fact, my check is probably better than yours. You know what I mean? So I have to kind of.
But yet and still, you still feel the need to prove that you're just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
why?
Because I always felt like, and this is kind of crazy.
Well, I'm sorry, you're proving to who?
White people.
Oh, white
that
people.
He's
Okay,
just as good as them.
Okay, gotcha. Ooh, that's an interesting point. I have a similar experience.
The reason why is because it's only usually 2 or 3 of us in the office, if that many, and I want them to hire more, consider more. Oftentimes, we don't make it to the interview just because of the name on the resume. So, you know, I know my name's not Daquan, My mom actually, because of her, thoughts and feelings, went with Philip, which is very universal.
Felipe, yeah.
But
I'm learning so much about him right now. I mean, we're friends for a reason because the same thing. I think our mothers kind of had similar thoughts. I mean, my name is Terrence for a reason.
Yeah.
Right, and not Tayshawn. You know what I mean? She didn't go with the trend at the time, but she went with, the classic, more universal, acceptable name.
I used to, kids used to tease me and say that I sound like an Oreo when I was a kid, like a kid. Like when I was in the all black situations.
Yeah.
But that's because my parents always stressed for me to speak perfect English. Even as a kid, they always corrected me.
And we gotta stop tripping on each other for that.
But I was ashamed when I was a kid because they used to call me an Oreo for how I spoke.
Yeah.
Damn.
My daughters went through the same thing, like growing up with the youth at church. Like the church is in South Central Los Angeles.
And she didn't talk like that.
And she didn't talk like the kids that went to the church. She grew up in they went to the same school that I went to. I put them I wanted them to experience, different cultures early too. I didn't want them to just only get one side of the coin there. So, yeah, I put them in the same exact school
now, why?
I went to.
So they can just know how to deal with just everybody?
Yeah, 2 reasons. One, I went there. So I know it was a good school. It wasn't going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to get that experience.
So, but why did you want to come to Jordan so bad then?
Because I want to be with my niggas.
So, it's a good reason. It's a good reason.
At the time, did you know you were in a good situation?
No. It's
not a good situation. Did you give yourself a demotion?
It's not a good situation when you're in it.
So you're saying at the time Jordan was not as good a school as Lakewood?
Okay. This is going to open up a huge onion. And no, Jordan is not. Even though it's a part of the same school district, it's not as good as Lakewood.
Even today, you say that it's not.
I would go on record and say today it's not as good of a school as Lakewood High or Milliken High or maybe even Wilson. Don't know. Didn't go there. But no, Jordan is on the lower, probably one of the lowest high schools in the Long Beach Unified School District.
Wow.
But damn, now I lost where I was going. Yeah, my kids though. So yeah, they went to the same school that I went to, and they use their words. So when they go to church, they would get called, y'all think y'all whatever, y'all speak proper, you think you better than me, and whoop. So they get all that kind of shit.
Damn, that is crazy, man. Just something that you would think is just, talking, your words.
Right. I gotta label you because you actually pronounce the word toothpaste.
Yeah, kids need to talk more because my daughter is a little apprehensive because she speaks proper. And she's a little apprehensive about how other black girls may think how she talks. She's very black. Yeah. I'm very black. So she's very black. But she speaks pretty good. She doesn't really speak slang and shit like that.
Yeah. This is like an episode of Blackish right now. Like,
yeah,
but is that why do people think that's a bad thing?
Yeah,
just the unknown. The unknown, and also it goes back to superiority. I just want to be tougher, rougher, bigger than you. I could beat your ass. What was the joke? I think Chris Rock said it. Oh, you got your master's degree? So what? You think you my master now? Huh? Since you know everything, tell me this smarty art nigga. Can you whoop my ass? Is what he said. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mentality though. So I was fortunate to grow up in the hood, but went to school out of the hood. So when I came home and I played outside, which the kids don't do today, I played outside with the neighborhood kids. So I grew up as one with the neighborhood, but then got the education outside. So I learned code switching extremely early, hella early. So, by the time I got to high school and I got these friends that's from the block, and now I'm still going to this, school out here in Lakewood, now I'm starting to realize and see the racism and the oppression and all that. I'm getting it from the teachers. And I'm like, man, this shit is not cool. Like, I would get it as a kid, and it just goes over your head.
Yeah.
You don't know about it. It's just flying past you. But now I got classes where, you know, he sat all the way in the back in every single class. Or I'm kicked out every fucking class for no fucking reason. Go to the office, go to the office, go to the office. And I didn't realize that when I was in elementary school, why I was always on the red line. While all the other kids were playing, I had to stand on the red line. I don't know if y'all had that red line wherever schools y'all was at, but the red line is like kind of like a detention. Like for the bad kids, you got to stand here. You can't go over there and play with the kids. You got to watch them play and just stand here on this line. So I'm starting to see all of this shit sink in. Like, damn, I'm getting punished way more than everybody, and I'm just as good as everybody. I'm not out here tripping on nobody. So I was like, man, I need out of here. And then I learned the school system so good at Lakewood, like I can ditch without, like, you know what I'm saying? I ditch in the front office around all the staff. You just lie to him and say, I'm here to see that one. And then when that one comes to you, you be like, oh, I was here to see that counselor. And you just spend all your time in the fucking front office. You ain't see nobody. So I just really had to get out of Lakewood. You know, I knew too much of the system, and they didn't like me either. They focused on my whole group. They pretty much eliminated my whole group. But I was just tired. I was ready to go. I had enough of that shit.
He really blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting because, again, like, talking from my personal experience, again, like, I was in LAUSD, you know, but the whole school, all the kids were Hispanics, you know, and you know, it's interesting because, like you said, you went to school outside of the hood, but you came back at the end of the day to just live in there.
People, yeah.
You know, so you were kind of like in both worlds in a sense, you know, and at least from my understanding, like there's a lot of programs that are not accessible to, I guess, lower schools compared to white schools. And it wasn't until later on that I had people living like in Fullerton, somewhere in OC. Then you're like, they're sophomores and they're taking some advanced science classes, and you're like, what?
Exactly. And that's one thing that we were talking about. You said, do you think Lakewood is better than Jordan? Even though it's in the same school district, it's kicking Jordan's ass academically.
Yeah.
When I went there in my senior year, it was like a fucking cakewalk. I'm like, how are these kids? And a lot of the kids were not up to par. Like, I'm like, what is his reading level on? Like, what the fuck is going on?
So you thought all of that?
Yeah, that was going on in my head. I was just like, yeah, this is easy as fuck.
Damn.
The only classes that challenged me, almost halfway challenged me, would have been our econ and our government. What was that, with Coop and Dederka?
Yeah.
Those were the only two classes that, and it didn't really challenge me, but it would have been up to almost the Lakewood par. All of the classes were like Coop and Dederka. You know what I mean? We did all kind of shit over at Lakewood. I got the Jordan teachers were just like, all right, don't kill each other.
That's crazy.
And they sat back. They didn't care if you did the work or if you was into it or you weren't into it. Everything was on you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Lakewood, you was getting
I don't know.
You got some tough ones at Jordan? You got some pretty tough classes there?
Not even like tough, but like I'm trying to really think about what you said. Like the work was on you, because I'm thinking about how your mother intentionally sent you over there. Mm-hmm. And you went to school out of the hood, even though you lived in the hood. Mm-hmm. And you think, and I probably think so too. I think you probably benefited from going out of the hood. Would you say?
Only thing I probably benefited was just knowing how people could prejudge you and going into the real world knowing that right away. Not having to learn that from scratch.
So do you regret not going to all black all the way or predominantly black?
No, I love my journey. I love my path. I'm glad my mom chose to do it that way. You know, I got a good, strong core right up front. And also, you know, me going outside playing with the neighborhood kids gave me well-rounding understanding of, you know, what it's like to be black. Mm-hmm. I would say the gift. Like, I got two strong gifts. Academically, I'm cool. and then I'm street smart too.
Right.
You
So-
fucked my head up, man, because I'm trying to make sense of what I'm even thinking, because I went to school in the hood and I also lived in the hood. But yet and still, I'm like, well, how did I learn how to code switch? Like, that's something my parents didn't specifically teach me.
But you kind of came across it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
went to
one
school
form.
in the hood.
but like, I grew up in a very black household, but they wanted me to do better. So, they corrected me when I misspoke. They made me read during the summertime and shit like that,
You had structure.
But I lived in the hood and I went to school in the hood.
Yeah.
Like,
Kids in the hood can't have structure. A lot of like
I don't
you
know.
for one.
This doesn't make any sense.
You for one, DJ Pro, he was structured. You know what I mean? Those some smart kids. That it exists. It's there. But then there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a
is
lot
it
of
then?
latchkey kids.
Is it the structure
There's a lot of latchkey
or
kids.
is it the hood?
It's
Man, I think
If you got structure, is the hood still the hood?
you're not gonna get the hood if you got structure.
Every household
You're not gonna get.
is
You're
probably
not gonna.
cannot have structure, huh?
You're not gonna get a lot of the hood if you have structure. Because if you have structure, when you come home from school, number one, you either gonna have to, get cracking on your homework and then do your chores, or you came home, you did your chores, and then you're gonna do your homework. It's not gonna leave a lot of time for you to go run the streets and get familiar with the kids in the neighborhood. My mom was always working, single parent mom, and I didn't have that kind of structure. I had a lot of free time. So when I got home from school, and unlocked my door, I made myself something to eat, a little snack. And I mean, I was a smart kid. I would do my homework real quick, and then I hit the streets. And I didn't come back till it was late, dark. I did whatever I wanted to do. My mom was so tired from going to work all day and also whooping my older brother ass so much that she ran out of steam when it came to me. As long as I ain't kill nobody,
you're in
I
the
was
clear.
good.
Yeah.
Right? I could do
Yeah.
anything. So, yeah, with not having that structure, I don't know. That wouldn't, I can sit down with any gangbanger or anything. And I know all the gangbangers. We all grew up together.
My parents were so hard on me because my brother was a fuck up. And that's why they gave me so much structure.
Damn.
Well, I'm glad you turned out good with all that structure, though, because I know other kids who had a lot of structure, and then one day they just flipped.
Yeah, exactly. It's because it would happen, I mean, we're all parents here and stuff. I'm my kid's super young and everything, but like I start thinking about it, like you don't want to get to the point where they resent you,
Right,
and
right.
then just fucking
then they just
flip, like
right, and then you can't control them. You know what I mean? They doing whatever. You have to give them some kind of freedoms. You got to let them be their own person and develop as a human being, or they'll go against everything that you're trying to put into them.
Yeah.
So I got another friend where he was super structured, on his way, doing great things, and then all of a sudden he just chose to be a part of the neighborhood. And then his parents felt bad. They were like, maybe we were too strict on him, too hard on him. So for his little brother, we just gonna go ahead and let loose and let him just be, that kid that can do anything he want. Well, then he moved his girl into the house, and then they ended up making 4 babies. So you know what I
They
mean?
got busy, yeah.
That balance is hard to find. That balance right in the middle.
Damn.
You gotta definitely have balance.
You said your mother gave you so much freedom because she was so tired of dealing with your older brother.
Yeah, definitely. My older brother was in youth authorities. He was he was getting sent off to Camp Gonzales.
Mine too.
We had to get in the car, drive to Malibu, go see him on the weekends, shit like that.
Absolutely.
She was tired of that shit.
2, 3 in the morning, going up to picking them up for county jail. I remember all that shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I think that's so wild that you got your freedom because your mother was so tired of dealing with him. Now, my mother was tired of dealing with my brother too. Like, tired. But I think that's the reason why they was so strict on me. Mm-hmm. Because my older brother is not my father's kid.
Yeah.
You think that's the same, like the thing with when you have children, like the first one, you're kind of like trial and error type of thing. And then the second one comes along and you're like,
correction time.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn.
It's just the opposite, right?
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Right. If we were loose with them, we're gonna get strict on the next one. Or if we were too strict, let's go ahead and release those barriers, and hopefully this one turns out better. You just never know, man. Yeah. You never know.
Damn. Well, I mean, I'm gonna start wrapping that up, guys. Phil, Terrence, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for having us, Terrence. Thank you for having me here, man.
No doubt, man.
I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Absolutely.
I'm glad, like after our last episode, great and all. I'm glad we got to sit down and face to face.
Yeah, it's always better.
Yeah.
Hopefully something's in here you can make sense of, man.
It's gonna be all used, man. But yeah, I mean, if people want to listen to your show, where can people find you?
Anywhere.
all podcast listing platforms. What is it? Spotify. Yeah. What is it?
Anywhere
Apple,
any podcast little
Apple.
app you have.
It's
anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us. Fresh to Death, Fresh TWODEAF, Fresh to Death.
Hell yeah.
Anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, hit us up. Hit us up on social media too. We're not tweeting very much.
No, we're not.
Shame on us.
Very much, man.
Shame on us.
It's so much to cover. Trying to cover.
There's
all
too
these
much.
grounds.
I was just telling them last week we were talking about the election and like what? No, not the election. The debate.
The debate.
And then a few days later, Trump gets COVID and
lies.
Yeah,
lies from the
like
pit of hell.
So
you
think he never had COVID?
He never had no damn COVID.
Why did he say that?
So people would stop calling him. So he can get away from the stand down and stand by.
Damn, you know what? That's true, huh? I mean,
people stopped talking about that.
Yeah.
After he said I have COVID. Now everybody's talking about you got COVID. Sheep, motherfuckers asleep. So he just played everybody. But I would say I got COVID too if I made a dumbass remark.
Yeah, it make people start feeling bad for you instead of
pointing
the finger at you.
Exactly. That's not good for your campaign. Like you got to change the narrative. So he never had COVID.
Do you guys do the vote by mail shit?
I honestly think I may just go to the poll. Yeah, I mean,
I love the good old fashioned poll.
Yeah, I mean, not that I have anything against the mailing stuff, but.
Yeah, I don't want to jeopardize my vote not being counted.
Yeah,
and being hung up.
Yeah,
somebody said if you put more stamps on it, then it has to be treated as priority mail.
I agree with you guys. I 100% agree. But I have the option to now I can vote by mail and just go to the polling place and drop it off, which I may do that. But what I like about voting from home is that you can take your time and you can really look up each one of these fucking people. Mm-hmm. And this is the first year ever. I'm going to do that shit. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to really look at this person and really do some
research
about each. That's why I got to start now. It's probably going to take me like a week or two.
Hey, no, it's true. And they give you the little booklet with the summary.
I'm going to see. And I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's the better way to do it. Instead of showing up and everything's a fucking surprise to you.
That's a lot of work, though. Because I ain't gonna front. I do vote, but a lot of times, some of the shit I'm just not informed.
Kind of just
filling out, yeah.
And
so I'm trying to
make a decision. And what are you gonna base it on?
And sometimes they frame it. The framing is tricky.
Yeah, it's politics. Yeah. We got to sell it to you. That's it. They always make it sound sweet on one side, but then they don't let you know what it's taken away from the other side.
So. And they know we don't have the time to really dig because tomorrow we got to get up and go to work.
Mm-hmm. Or work allowed us to like leave early and just, you know, leave for a few hours. You got to go back to work after you're done. Because they do allow you like 2 hours or so.
To go vote?
Vote. Yeah. You could take advantage of that, but.
No, I'm just talking about just in life, just how the world is. Like, to keep you from digging and finding out how this shit really operates, you're on that hamster wheel. It takes a special person to want to really dig and to find out how all this shit is just bullshit. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's overwhelming for just one person, too.
And you got kids. Motherfuckers got mortgages. You got rent.
Yeah, so just make something that sound fly and everybody will go vote for it. Just pitch it.
And I'm trying to go to Carl's Jr. to get something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm just a fucking American.
You just got to pitch it the right way,
It's
man.
crazy.
Yes,
And it keeps fucking us. That's wild.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this shit up. We can go forever.
Yeah, we'll have another one, guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, you know. But, you know, hopefully people get out there too, man. Go vote. Go vote.
Social primates.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. Social Primate, Fresh to Death. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Peace. Good night.
All right.
Cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sick in the vibe. Cause it could all end with the blink. This is a cheers for those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sick in the vibe. Cause it could all end at the blink of an eye. This is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sick in the vibe. Cause it could all end with the blink. I'm with my peoples, I haven't seen them lately. I've been preoccupied adjusting to the changes. I wouldn't trade places with no one. These are the cards I was dealt, I'ma hold them, never fold them. Although I might take a hit or two. Refuse to be a prisoner of what they did to you. I don't hold grudges, I'd rather hold a cold one buzzing. Real ones come a dime a dozen. Never change up, chase love, your chain tucked. Sad to say I've traded words with traitors. The backstabbing only sharpens on my shoulder blades. So amazed, soaking up the solar rays. My soul is raised to a high level. Each day is a daze, and most nights of rebels may hope fight the devil and win too. In the face of hatred, we show appreciation. Cause this is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe. Cause it could all end at the blink of an eye. This is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe. Cause it could all end with the blink.
Yeah, in the midst of madness, there's always something to be thankful for. So raise your glass and capture the days you're praying for. Make love in the face of the class waging wars. Plate for the grateful, baby, and I'ma make some more. Serving it up like soup lines. Breaking the bread with my brothers, I ain't waiting on due time. I use mine to fill in the blank like whose line. Move silent while they debate whose shoes are the flies. Unifying the dissonance with the you and I. And maybe it's a crucified mission to keep the truth alive. But I'm convinced eventually it's finding a way to lift out the dark like the light of the day. We gon' keep on shining in the face of the sun and keep on smiling in the faces we love. So dub that, chug that, roll another dub sack. Do what you gotta do, whatever you do, just love that.
This is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe. Cause it could all end at the blink of an eye. This is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down. Put your drinks in the sky and just sink in the vibe. Cause it could all end with the blink. And for them nights I can't remember but will never forget. The memories I process. I'm sitting on a fortune. Trips to foreign lands and forward plans where they folklore dance. Living fortunate before the grants. It's been all about the hustle. With my team huddle, count hundreds, be humble. Sunsets and space shuttles, travel round the world. Stay grounded, down to earth, know your worth. Overworked and tired, don't you deserve to smile? Might sound cliche, but these days are keepsakes. I keep safe and close to me. May you find the hope you seek, a Catholic and a rosary. This is how life's supposed to be, dance in the rain. The key is to adapt, we advance through the pain. Through the ashes and shade escapes a ray of light. Glasses raised up high, celebrate from day to night. This is a cheers to those who ain't here and everybody in the house. Go on and get down.